Welcome back, everybody, to Unfair Sports. It's your boy Coop here, and I'm joined today by an absolute stud, 2026, Brian Harris out of Mandarin down in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, we tried this the other day, and we had some storms in Oklahoma. I know being from Florida, you got some storms too, but man, how's it going?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just happy to be here. I'm blessed to be here, man.
Yep. So, man, I just want to kind of attach a couple of questions, as we're doing video here in a few minutes. But man, just starting off, like, you know, when was it? When you started into football? Like, I think that you said you started in soccer, and so tell me a little bit about the soccer transition over to football, and kind of when you thought, man, I could be just more than a guy.
Right. Growing up, I grew up in a Latino household. My mom's Brazilian, so the only thing we ever knew was soccer, the other football, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I played that for my whole early life up until a certain point. I think had got injured or something, like a mini fracture in my foot, and I was like, I don't want to play soccer anymore. And I moved from there, and then I went to music. Music is my biggest thing. Play like all types of instruments, guitar, ukulele, drums, and whatnot. I got into that, and then I moved out of that, and I went to football. One of my family members convinced my mom to let me play football. I begged my mom to play football my whole life, and she was like, "It's too dangerous, and I can't have you do that." Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
And then the selling point for my mom was like, he's the biggest kid on the field at all times. He's not getting hurt.
that's
He'd
awesome.
be all
That's
right,
awesome.
right? And at the time, I was the biggest kid anybody's ever seen. And when I got on the field, I was hurting other people, and I don't know. It just sparked something in my mom. My mom started loving the game, and then I started loving it, and it was just a combination of the few. My father too, and I just got built like such a love for the game, and after that it just took off. I think my freshman year, actually no, my eighth grade year I started playing football. And after that I was around 300 pounds, 6 foot, 300 pounds, and then I dropped from 300 pounds to 215 in 1 year. Built that back up muscle because I was very a lot of fat on my body, and
Very,
I
yeah.
dropped it all down my freshman year, and then built it back up. My freshman year, I was surrounded by guys like Jamie French, Tramel Jones, Drake Stubbs,
Yeah.
all the elite guys, AJ, a lot of guys around me, and it opened my eyes to bigger things. And it wasn't just
Yeah.
about playing sports no more. It was about going to college, having that educational piece first, and really seeing like I could go to college for playing sports. And then I think my sophomore year, it started to hit me like I'm not even worried about. So I could go to the league. Like I could really go to that next level. I could if I invest in my grind now. Like I could really get into it. So my
Yeah.
freshman and sophomore year, I fully invested in it. Especially with those guys around me, they always pushed me to be the best I could be, and it just took off from there.
Well, I'm gonna go back to soccer. Did you have a favorite player when you were a soccer fan? Do you still kind of watch it?
I'm not super big on soccer now. Football is just my whole
Everything.
life now. But
Yeah.
but my favorite player was hands down Neymar. Neymar was my
Oh yeah.
favorite player. I have like 16 jerseys of Neymar,
That's
all type
awesome.
of teams, Paris, Brazil, don't matter what it is, and it all got number 10 on it. I remember wearing that jersey every single day. It would start stinking at one point. It was like, man, you got to wash this thing. But nah, I was a big fan of Neymar.
Does your mom get turned up for when the World Cup goes? Because Brazil's a squad.
Yeah. It's something else. It's like the Super Bowl for her. Like
Yeah.
she's not super invested in football because she doesn't know a lot about it. But when the World Cup comes on, it's like the equivalent to the Super Bowl for
Yeah.
her. And I turn up with her. All my family it comes out, and there's a big community of Brazilians in
Yeah.
Jacksonville, and it's just overwhelming, especially when we're doing really good in the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
like the Super Bowl, but for like 2 weeks.
right, right,
Uh,
exactly.
it's just top. Well, so your sophomore year, you feel like maybe I've got this potential to go a little bit higher. Um, Tell me about your first, your first big time offer, who it was. How'd you feel about that?
My first real big time offer that really opened my eyes was probably South Carolina. Um, my first offer I ever got was Duke, and off the bat, your first offer being a Power Five offer or Power Four now, Power
Yeah,
Four offer. You know, that's the big thing. And for my parents to hear that I can go to Duke and have an academic standpoint like that, like it was amazing. But South Carolina was the first SEC school to offer me. It was the biggest school to offer me at the time, and I was jumping up and down. I remember my coach had told me originally, it was an experience for sure. We had came out for a fire drill, and all my classmates found out that I had got an offer, and it was just like they were all hyped, and it was a good time.
that's awesome. Tell me about the OU. When did that kind of pop up, and what were those feelings like when you got that offer?
I had started gaining attraction after South Carolina had offered me, and then Oklahoma had offered me. I remember sitting in my room and I had got on a call with Coach Bates, and it was a weird phone call because he was trying to get in contact with me for the whole day, and I was in school. I was getting out of class to have a conversation with him. He wanted to learn more about me before he actually pulled the trigger. I could tell that was what it was. And then that
Yeah,
night he had called me, pulled the trigger, offered me, and it was not like every other offer. I swear to you, it's the most cliche thing like people say when they get an offer, and then that's the one they commit to, and they talk all good things about them. But it's really a different. It was a different thing. It was it was more heartfelt. I feel like at a standpoint where Coach Bates is more like a father figure. Like when he was
yeah.
talking to me, it was more like he really wanted me. He wanted to invest his time into me, and I didn't really get that from a lot of other schools. I got a lot of "we like you, we love you," da 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 da, but it just felt not real. It didn't feel as real as Oklahoma.
On that call, did Bates do a little poem for you, or did he have a little limerick or anything?
Oh my gosh, Coach Base's poems is something else, man. I
It's
and
great.
he had gave me one. I don't remember the exact one he gave me, but he gave me one. My eyes lit up as soon as he gave me that poem, and I was like, "Man, you should publish that, man." He's like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "No, no, no, I'm being serious. Like, no, really publish. Like, want to be like these poems is like something else. Like, I ain't never heard of this."
He's
And
got a
and, and
gift.
come to find out, like I didn't know my history. Like, I didn't know nothing about Coach Bates. I didn't know what he did, and now I know who he is. That's what he does. That's Coach Bates. Poems for Coach Bates is a big part of how I see him. He's
Yeah.
he's a literature for he's a literature for me. He's a I feel like he could be a songwriter if he wanted to.
I think just as good as Bob Dylan to be a songwriter, right?
Right. Right.
Just a fun thing. So you got down to your final schools. You really had that decision to make. What were the key factors that kind of played into finally, flipping the switch and going to OU?
It was the first, it was in, I forgot the exact date I went on my first visit over there. So I went over there my first day, met with the coaches, met with Jaden Jackson. Jaden Jackson was the first player I talked to when I was on my trip, and he was something else. He told me his whole life story down to the T, and it was amazing. I really felt a connection with him immediately. We were sitting down at a
Yeah,
dinner table eating some pizza, and it was we he sat there. Everybody else was leaving. All the players were leaving. All the coaches were getting it because it's getting a little late. He's sitting there with me for like 3 hours, 3 hours and 3 hours and a half. Like he's just sitting there. We just talking chopping up the whole time, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving all of it. All the recruits starting to leave and everything. We sitting down chilling, right? And
yeah,
so after that, I got a real perspective of what Oklahoma was, and I really started loving it. And it was I got engulfed in love immediately. The next
yeah,
day came out, and I just felt immediate, like a genuine wantingness. Like it was it's something you can't really explain. Like off the
Yeah.
bat,
Oh,
like
yeah,
when
I know what you
I had a meeting with Coach Venables. It was the most fantastic meeting I've ever had in my life. Like I've never had a man like that. Like he's real infectious
Yeah.
is the word that I use for Coach Bates and Coach Venables. Infectious, they have an infectious personality, and it really gets to me. And I could tell it got to my parents too, especially how energetic he was. Some coaches, they have a different types of styles when it comes to talking and whatnot, but he's all about it, and I'm all for it. So off that day alone, that's when I knew it was Oklahoma. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was that day.
So, I mean, obviously, if you look back into recent history, OU is a team in the 80s, that was all about, defense and the wishbone and, early 2000s defense. And then, under the Riley years, defense kind of was optional and it was more an offensive category. Um, After you had that visit and you felt that way, and then you saw what Jaden was doing on the field and you saw what other guys were doing on the field, and now it's supposed to be even better like this year. Like, did that play a key factor in, obviously going, yeah, I feel good here, but I also know this is probably the best place for me as a D lineman.
So on that visit, I had talked to a lot of kids that were there for a minute before Coach had got
Mm-hmm.
there, and they had told me how what it was like before and how it is now, and that stuck something in me. It really had. I got heartfelt when they told me how what the immediate difference was, the immediate change for the better. I wanted to go to a program that was more of a defensive side, regardless of the history. I wasn't really worried about.
Mm-hmm.
I was more worried about what they are now and what they're looking to
Yeah.
be. Because I tell every coach that's recruiting me, I want to be a part of a solution. I don't want to be
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of something that's just like, oh, we win every year and that's what it is. Like, no, I want to go somewhere and I can make an impact on wherever whatever I do. It don't matter playing inside or outside. I just want to make an impact, and I want to be a part of the solution. And knowing that wherever Coach Venables go, like he wins. It doesn't matter if he's
Yeah.
at Clemson. Don't matter if he's at Oklahoma. He wins wherever he goes. Got two underneath his belt, and it speaks numbers. So.
Yeah. 100%. And then, so obviously OU, before you were getting into this process, was a Big 12 team. Now they've, finished 1 year in the SEC. Offensive struggles kind of led to a subpar season. I think we got with Mateer, that looks like it's pretty panned out. Jay Knott also, a big athletic offensive line. But playing in the SEC, what is that going to mean to you to go play against the best? And that you're not just going to be the best team that has a defense, beating up on a bunch of people who don't have great offensive lines, but you're going up against, some of the best athletes in the world. And I know you played against IMG, and so you've already been around in a lot of these. But what does the SEC mean to you?
It means everything to me. Another key point and key factor in my decision making was an SEC school. I had talked to my mother like right before I think it was I had got South Carolina, and I was sitting down with my mom and I was explaining to her all the conferences and what they mean and what the amount of competition is, and
Mm-hmm.
SEC one being one of the highest competition and the highest and the biggest, the baddest players. It's the best competition you can play at and the highest stage you can play at. And I was explaining to her like it's Alabama, you got Oklahoma here now, you got Texas here now. Like I'm telling her, I'm just explaining all these schools, and at the time my head wasn't up at SEC. I wanted to play at a big stage regardless of where I went. I wanted to play at the best competition. That's what I wanted to do. I want to play in the SEC.
Yeah.
My head wasn't there. I didn't really think I was going to play in the SEC. My mom just kept reiterating into me over and over and over again. You're going to get Alabama. You're going to get these big schools. You're going to play at the highest stage. Don't worry about it. I was like, Mom, do you know you don't? She doesn't know what Alabama is and what these
Yeah.
schools mean. And I'm like, man, this is like Alabama offer is crazy. Like Oklahoma offer is crazy. Like these are like high standard things. It's not just like every other offer. Like no, these are like I'm trying to, because all she sees is the name and the logo, and that's all she sees. She doesn't know it unless it
Yeah.
was Stanford. Like she's from Brazil, and hearing Stanford, just being Stanford,
Yeah.
it's one of those schools. But any other school, she doesn't know what it is. So when she told me like you're gonna get every school in the book, like you're not gonna worry, like don't worry about none of that, and it would just it made me work harder. I'm not gonna lie to you, and it was a big factor in my decision making to go to SEC.
Well, let's talk Jim Nagy because that's a dude who has come to OU. This is a guy who orchestrated Super Bowl teams in New England, in Seattle, obviously through working through the his most recent job. He's got an absolute just handle on probably every GM in the league because of the Senior Bowl. So I mean, what what is that? Obviously a portion that kind of goes with NIL, kind of goes with this new development of how OU is building its roster. But knowing that if you do your job, you got the school name behind you, the SEC factor behind you, and a dude who knows pretty dang near every GM. Like, what does that mean to you?
I know that I'm going to make it regardless. I know I put all my faith in Jim Nagy and in the staff. Like, I really do have a really strong connection with the staff, especially Jim Nagy, especially this last couple of months leading into my commitment. I've gotten a stronger connection with Jim Nagy. He's a he's a dog, man, and I really do think that he knows what he's doing. I have no doubt in
Mm-hmm.
my brain. I think that I like the way he's handling things, the way he's recruiting guys, the way he sees fit. Like I don't like schools that just like go around like, oh, I want 5 star, okay, 5 star, cool beans. I want that one. I want that one. I want that. I
Yeah.
mean, he really understands how to analyze guys regardless of the stars and recruit those guys and be like, okay, that's the guy I want. Like he's handpicking these guys, and he's not just going off of how many stars they got and what's the hype around their name. Like I really do I like his approach. So
So obviously you do that. You've got. I mean, these conversations have been. Are these guys projectable for the NFL? So I mean, that means something for you right there. But a question, my boy Stevie brought up to and wanted. Who do you kind of model your game after? Maybe college or NFL? Like you're a little bit of a mutant. You kind of have that inside outside capability. So who do you watch and you're like, all right, I got to see how he does that?
So I'm a big Eagles fan. So growing up, the only people I was watching was the Eagles. My pops is born and raised in Philadelphia. That's the only team he knows. Well, not knows, but that's the only team he looks at, and that's the only team I look at. And having people like Brandon Graham was a big part of people I look at. And then you got Chris Jones. I model
Yeah.
my game after him recently in high school, like my sophomore and freshman year, and in my junior year, I really was looking at David. David Stone was a big
Yeah.
piece that I was looking at, and it's so funny that I'm like committed. I'm going to Oklahoma, and I'm like I get to get mentored by David Stone,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't know that like me and my dad would stay up night after night after night and just put up David's highlights. We just put them on the TV and we just sit there and watch David highlights all day long. Like I'm just sitting because I wanted to match my because all I did was I looked at people, their body types, how well it looked like mine, and I wanted to see how they played if it was similar to the way I wanted to play. And I just looked at key things that they were doing that I wasn't doing, and I wanted to get better. So I looked at kids like David Stone. David Stone was probably one of the only guys in high school I was looking at that I wanted to model myself after. Colin Simmons was like a big edge rusher. I liked
Yeah.
him. I like watching him, but like I said, he's like a more of an edge guy. But my pass rush game was I wanted to model myself after Colin Simmons, and it's funny because he's like 50 pounds less than me, but I
Yeah.
still wanted to have that speed, that get off. That's the
That
thing I
juice.
model
Yeah.
myself after.
So let's get back to talking, about the SEC. You're about to, you're going to finish up this senior year. I know you probably got some goals. Actually, let's start there. What goals do you have here for your final year? I mean, what are you? Have you set anything as far as numbers, or is it just get better and grind?
I really just want to put my head down and grind. I don't really look at numbers like that. When people ask me how many how many sacks you want to get, I just
Exactly.
say every time I just say 15. I throw a crazy number. My expectation is so high for myself. I just want to put a bar up there and I'll be like, all right, that's where we're going, and then just put my head down and we grind. And I really don't look at the numbers until like the last game. I'm like, all right, that's how many sacks I got. Trying to work harder because I just know every night, like after a game, I'm like, I could have probably had more sacks, could have had more tackles. I could have always done something better to give myself a little boost, but I don't really think about it.
So SEC, let's get to this question now. You've got a lot of fun teams that you're going to probably be lined up to play with. I know for your freshman year, we're going to have Florida, you're going to have Arkansas, you're going to have, Mississippi State. Is there a team, in your time at OU, you're really looking forward to going and playing?
I mean, there's only one team that I'm greatly looking forward to play, which is that Red River rivalry. I mean, you can't. Why not? Like, I mean, I don't care about no other team. I really don't look at any teams that we're going to be playing. I just think it's another person in that we got to go after, and I feel like that Texas. It's more of a. It's not even about the team. It's more about just the atmosphere. It's a different
It's
place when you do go there. I haven't personally been there, but I just hear so many stories, and I
yeah.
really do want to experience that.
I mean, absolutely. I was there 2 years ago when Dylan Gabriel hits the pass to win the game, and then this past year, obviously, our offense didn't start until the Alabama game. So I mean, it's just crazy, especially with the fair portion of it. But tell me a couple other questions, but let's get into like who Brian is. First of all, I don't know if you know this. My uncle's name is Brian Harris, and different spelled Brian, but and he's an Oklahoma State fan. So this kind of is some good. Yeah, now you're coming over to the nice side. But what are you when you get done with practice? You come home and you just want a satisfying meal. What are you eating?
I'm eating. Oh my gosh, this is so funny because my mom and my dad had been telling me to stop eating it, and I make it almost like 2 times a week. Like it's not that excessive, but I make it a lot, and I really love it. It's steak and mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
steak and mashed potatoes is like my signature thing that I make. Like if my last meal is gonna be steak and mashed potatoes, I want my steak and mashed potatoes is so good, especially my mashed potatoes. My mashed potatoes is like my signature thing. But I've been trying to get better and better at making steak. I'm trying to get more utensils, a cast iron pan and whatnot, and try to get that good sear on there.
Yeah.
Try to do different ways like sous vide and like reverse sear. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it down. So that's my biggest thing.
Hey, I'm gonna have to hook you up with Anton Harrison because he's a big cook and he's out at Jacksonville too. So you need to go hit him up. But okay, so give me the mashed potatoes recipe. Like, what ingredients are you doing, or is it trade secret?
I don't know if I get. I do. I put a lot of butter. A lot of butter. I'm a real big butter guy. I use Montreal seasoning in my mashed potatoes
Oh,
because I use
oh,
Montreal seasoning on my steak, and
yeah,
and I just put it right in the mashed potatoes. I do a lot of salt, a lot of pepper. I do a little chili powder. Um, what else? A lot of garlic. I'm a big garlic guy. A lot of Brazilian households had a lot of garlic in it,
yeah.
so garlic is a big thing for me. A lot of cheese. I like a lot of cheese in my mashed potatoes. So.
I like it. I like it. I like it. You're speaking my language. Montreal steak season. I got the big bottle because we go through it so much.
Oh my
So you're about to
gosh.
come to Oklahoma, man, and this is cattle country. So the steak is just going to get that much better. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a video I'll send you. The guy breaking down how much meat you can get from half a cow. I feel like you buy half a cow and you got yourself. If you do steak and potatoes all the time, you got about 3 weeks on your schedule. But
Oh my gosh.
every day, steak every day. All right, you've had your mashed potatoes and steak. Now it's time to just chill. Whether it's with your friends, like what do you like to do? Just getting home after practice, or maybe on a Saturday off day. How you just kick it?
So my main thing I do, if I'm not on the phone with my girlfriend, I'm probably just playing a guitar. I really do a lot of music. Music is my biggest thing. I whip out the guitar and a piano, or I sing. I'm a big singer. And that's the main thing I do. I've laid off the video game since like my freshman year. I haven't played a lot. It's just not it's a big distraction nowadays. But
Yeah,
I'll binge watch some Disney Plus. I like this new show called The Rookie. The Rookie, that's
yeah,
not new, but it's a show that I've been hooked on. I'm on like season 5 or something. It's just been it's just so interesting, the cop aspect, and
yeah.
you see like the behind the scenes. But I talked to some real cops. My friends' parents are both cops, and I talked to them, and they say some of it's like not real, and a lot of it's accurate. But that's my biggest thing is music, and then watch some TV.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So, final question for you. And again, I mean, I just appreciate you hopping in here. But OU, a lot of fans, they don't really watch the recruiting. There's only degenerates like myself and, all the guys who watch our stuff is just because it's 24/7 content, content, content. Um, who is Brian Harris? Who is the Oklahoma fan base getting in you as a person and you as your mentality, just in every day?
You're getting a well-spoken man. I really
I
do
agree.
cherish my speech. I feel like I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. I'm really well-spoken. I'm outgoing. I'm not shy when it comes to any atmosphere. Doesn't matter. Talk to me. I love having conversations with people. Love meeting new people. I love having real deep conversations with people. I'm a real dog on the field, so if you watch the tape if you want to, but I do cherish the football aspects of life, and just if you see me, I have a conversation. I don't bite, so.
I love it. I love it. And now we got the Pauly family through Jaden, and now we've got the Brazilian family going to be coming in. So it's I just absolutely love the culture that's in being infused into this program, and just quality people. And I agree, you are very well spoken, and man, I think that you're going to be a fan favorite pretty quickly. So we're excited to have you. So this is where you can actually make some more fans of Brian Harris. Tonight, OKC hosts Indiana Pacers for game 1 of the finals. And if you ask anybody in OKC, they're talking about 4 or 5 games and it's over. Who are you picking for the
I, I've been
finals?
I've been rooting for OKC since 4 months ago. Like I love OKC, especially SGA. It's my favorite player right now. I'm not big on basketball, but when I do watch it, just best believe I got OKC on. Especially after me committing, I got a real team that I'm really invested in now. So I'm gonna be right there. So I can't. I'm not voting. I'm not rooting for the 76ers no more. Sadly, my dad's gonna be mad, but it is what it is. But I
Hey, trust
really
the
do hope.
process.
Right, right. And I told my dad too. I told my dad that if I get drafted one day and it's to the Cowboys, don't be mad at me. Okay, you gonna be wearing a
Oh,
nice star on your back, and you're gonna have Harris on the back of the jersey. You're gonna be all right.
my daughter is talking about what college she's going to go to as a softball player. And she said, Dad, if I go to Texas, will you wear? And I said, mm-mm. I said, I'm going to wear my stuff. I said, if anything, I'll put "Go Finley" on my hand or something. So I got to understand that Philly Dallas Cowboys, hey, is real. But if you got your pick of where you went, where would you go?
In the NFL draft, I want to go to the Eagles. I want to go to the Eagles so bad. The Eagles is a it's just been a staple in my life. I've watched them ever since I was a kid. Going to these gatherings, my every Sunday, I go with my little group. It's really my dad's group, but I've grew up in this group that just watches
Yeah.
Sunday football, and they go to a little bar, and I get a little table by myself and eat some steak and whatnot, and we all will have a good time. And
I love
yeah,
it.
no, I'm and I've gotten breaded in Philly. Like Philly is everything. So I got my whole room set up. I got a whole bunch of Philly going on. A lot of Eagles. Doesn't matter if it's down to baseball, basketball. Don't matter what it is. Football. Philly is everything. So
So I got a hypothetical down the line question. You're projected top five, Philly's back at 20, something like that, and then all of a sudden you get the call from Howie, and he says, "Hey, we're about to pick you up. Nagy just called me, so we're trading up. We're grabbing you." Is there anything better than that?
no. I don't think you understand the amount of like the excitement from my family is going to be insane. Like
Oh
all
yeah,
my family, I don't have a lot of I have like a couple family members that live in Florida. All of my family lives in Philadelphia. All of them.
yeah,
All of them. And if they're not in Philadelphia, they're in Brazil, on my mom's side. But oh my gosh, I can just imagine winning a Super Bowl and going down Broad Street and having all my family members there. It would be, oh my gosh, it's
love
a
it.
dream. It's a dream.
I love it, man. Hey, Hertz is still going to be there about that time, so he's we claim him, so he's sooner. I don't know if Lane Johnson's still going to be the best offensive lineman at that time, but if he's there, you get to go up against a champ, so
Right, right.
you're going to get to do that. So, man, Brian, terrific. I mean, just with the culture that is being brought in by the staff, Jim Nagy, and just the whole administration. I mean, I think you're going to be an extreme asset to this team, not only on the field, but off the field. So, man, thank you for joining me today. And, man, it's just been absolutely a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a blessing. I watch every last one of y'all videos on. I promise you, every time y'all post something and it has my name on, I'm watching this on the big screen. So I really do appreciate you having me. This is definitely going to be on the big screen when it comes out. So
Well, if you like the interview here with Brian and you want to hit him up with a question, go in and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but also go down in the comments. Let him know what you feel, and he'll definitely respond. But man, this is one you want to share with your friends too, because I mean this is I think the third straight interview of just guys that are just very, very similar. So. Until next time, man, I appreciate you again, Brian, for joining me. And again, like I said, hit that like button, subscribe, make sure those notifications go. So when great things like this happen, you can be the first. So until next time.